As the days wane and the stars dim one by one, while the sun fades languidly in the sky, the world shall be shrouded in the cloak of forgetfulness. The chains of knowledge will crumble, and time itself will lose its meaning. However, amid the deepest darkness, a beacon will shine, carrying with it the promise of a new dawn. Those who embrace wisdom and love will discover the path to renewal, while darkness consumes what remains of the old world. Here unveiled is the dreadful prophecy of Padre Pio, the revered saint whose words still resonate in the hearts of millions. Known for his deep connection with the divine and his prophetic visions, Padre Pio had foretold a devastating tragedy destined to strike humanity. His words, laden with warnings and a sense of urgency, spread like an echo through the decades, enveloping the minds and hearts of those who listened. In the darkness of his prophecies, there emerged a call to vigilance and preparedness, as the future loomed uncertain and fraught with imminent dangers. Today, as we look at the present with eyes filled with uncertainty, let us reflect on the words of this visionary saint and seek in our faith and courage the strength to face the trials that may still lie ahead for humanity. Padre Pio, the Capuchin friar revered for his profound spirituality and extraordinary gifts, has left an indelible mark on the history of faith and spirituality. His stigmata, deemed miraculous, and his ability to foresee the future have drawn the attention of millions of believers worldwide. However, among all the prophecies he expressed throughout his life, one in particular has stirred great unease, that of the devastating tragedy. The exact meaning of this prophecy has been the subject of speculation and debate among theologians, scholars, and believers. Some believe it could refer to global events, such as wars, natural disasters, or pandemics, that could cause widespread destruction and suffering on a vast scale. Others, instead, interpret this prophecy in a more symbolic sense, seeing it as a warning against the danger of sin and the lack of spirituality in humanity. Before continuing, subscribe to the channel to not miss out on insights on this dreadful topic. What is certain is that Padre Pio, with his profound connection to the divine, intended these words to prompt reflection and spiritual preparation. Regardless of the specific interpretation, his prophecy of the devastating tragedy highlights the importance of living in harmony with spiritual values and pursuing peace and compassion in the world. The prophetic words of Padre Pio have always sparked a wide range of interpretations and speculations. Some firmly believe that his prophecy of the devastating tragedy is a direct warning about tangible events, such as wars or natural disasters, which could inflict profound wounds upon society and humanity as a whole. However, there are those who read between the lines of his words and glimpse a subtler and deeper dimension. Some interpret the prophecy as a warning against a spiritual and moral crisis, an era in which humanity risks losing its moral and spiritual compass, being overwhelmed by selfishness, violence, and indifference. But perhaps, beyond these seemingly opposing interpretations, Padre Pio's words invite us to look deeper, to transcend the barriers of our limited perceptions. We might discover that his prophecy extends beyond conventional categories of time and space, touching the deepest chords of our humanity. Ultimately, what emerges from these reflections is an invitation to a deeper inner search, an exploration of our role in the fabric of human destiny. Perhaps in this journey towards a deeper understanding of Padre Pio's words, we will find answers that transcend simple interpretations and lead us towards a higher awareness of our existence and our destiny. Padre Pio, with his mystical aura and prophetic visions, left behind a veil of mystery and speculation. His prophecy of the devastating tragedy has been the subject of intense reflection among his followers, who have sought to decipher its hidden meaning. Although Padre Pio never provided specific details about what this devastating tragedy might entail, many of his devotees believe it was something of epical significance, capable of shaking the very foundations of humanity. Some imagine a natural calamity of biblical proportions, such as a global cataclysm, or a flood that would engulf entire regions. Others hypothesize a human-made event, such as a nuclear war or a political cataclysm that would lead to disastrous consequences for civilization. Regardless of the specific interpretation, what emerges is an awareness of the immense power and responsibility of Padre Pio's words. His message of warning has prompted his followers to reflect on the fragility of human life and the importance of pursuing peace and justice in the world. Ultimately, the prophecy of the devastating tragedy reminds us that in the face of uncertainties about the future, it is essential to keep faith and compassion alive and to pursue the common good with determination. Only in this way can we hope to face any unexpected event with resilience and solidarity. Despite the various interpretations sparked by his prophecies, one thing remains undeniable: Padre Pio's unwavering faith in the importance of prayer and faith as supremely powerful weapons against any form of tragedy, whether physical or spiritual. For Padre Pio, prayer was much more than a simple act of religious devotion. It was a means to connect directly with the divine, a way to convey one's concerns, hopes, and fears to a higher power. He believed that prayer had the power to unleash divine forces that could positively influence the course of human events, bringing comfort, healing, and protection in times of difficulty. Furthermore, Padre Pio taught that unconditional faith was essential for facing life's trials. His conviction was that a firm and deeply rooted faith would provide the inner strength needed to overcome any adversity, whether it be a personal tragedy or a calamity of global proportions. For him, faith represented a beacon of hope in darkness, a bulwark against the desperate shipwreck of the soul. So, even though the exact meaning of his prophecies may remain shrouded in mystery, Padre Pio's legacy as an apostle of prayer and faith remains a precious guide for those seeking comfort and strength in life's storms. Padre Pio's prophecies have always sparked debate and reflection among believers and scholars. However, beyond the conflicting interpretations, his unwavering faith and dedication to prayer remain a beacon of inspiration for all of us. In an era marked by uncertainties and fears, the figure of Padre Pio reminds us of the importance of clinging to hope, even in the face of catastrophic events. His steadfast faith and confidence in the divine urge us to look to the future with courage and determination, knowing that even in the darkest moments, the light of hope continues to shine. Padre Pio's life was a tangible example of how prayer and faith can transform challenges into opportunities for spiritual growth. His ability to find comfort and strength in communion with God urges us to follow his example, to embrace spirituality, and to cultivate a personal relationship with the divine. So, as we reflect on Padre Pio's prophecies, let us remember that the true legacy of this saint lies in his testimony of hope and trust. Whether we find ourselves in times of peace or turbulence, his life teaches us that hope is a beacon guiding our steps through life's storms. In an era marked by uncertainty and anxiety, the words of Padre Pio resonate with a universal and tangible truth. Whether it's a crisis involving all of humanity or personal challenges each of us must face, the prospect of a devastating tragedy can take many forms. The complexity of the modern world exposes us to an increasingly broad range of possible tragedies, ranging from natural disasters to economic crises, from pandemics to wars. But even the most intimate and personal challenges, such as the loss of a loved one, illness, or emotional despair, can be perceived as devastating tragedies in each person's life. However, even in the face of the most frightening adversities, Padre Pio teaches us that there is always hope. His unwavering faith and conviction in the power of prayer remind us that even in the darkest moments, we can find comfort and strength in our relationship with the divine. Hope and faith are the forces that sustain us in the heart of the storm, illuminating our path and giving meaning to our existence. These are the qualities that enable us to face the devastating tragedy with courage and resilience, transforming our trials into opportunities for growth and healing. So, as we find ourselves immersed in an increasingly uncertain world, let us continue to draw inspiration from the words of Padre Pio and cultivate the hope and faith that allow us to navigate the turbulent waters of life with determination and confidence. Padre Pio's prophecy offers us a valuable life lesson that resonates through the centuries: the necessity to face challenges with courage, faith, and hope. In a world characterized by uncertainty and rapid changes, his perspective reminds us of the importance of always being ready to confront adversities with determination and confidence in the future. Padre Pio teaches us that despite the difficulties we may encounter along the way, faith and hope are the forces that enable us to overcome the most challenging trials. His life and prophecies remind us that even in the face of the most devastating tragedies, we must never lose faith in the power of the divine and the immense inner strength that resides within each of us. In an era marked by global and personal challenges, Padre Pio's message urges us to hold steadfast to our commitment to hope and faith. It encourages us to look beyond the difficulties of the present and envision a bright future, fueled by our determination and our faith in goodness. So we can learn from Padre Pio's prophecy that even when it seems that all is lost, hope and faith are always available to us, ready to guide us through the darkness towards the light. His legacy invites us to never give up, to keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts, regardless of the circumstances that surround us. In conclusion, Padre Pio's prophecy of the devastating tragedy remains shrouded in mystery, but his legacy of faith and hope shines with timeless brightness. In an era where the world is afflicted by a multitude of challenges, the words of the revered Capuchin friar remind us of the importance of carefully guarding the flame of hope. Despite the uncertainties and difficulties that may cross our lives, Padre Pio's unwavering faith in the divine urges us to believe that even in the darkest moments, there is a light that can guide us through the darkness. His conviction in the power of hope reminds us that even in the face of the most insurmountable adversities, it is essential to persevere, keeping alive the flame of trust in the future. In a world where pessimism can easily prevail, Padre Pio's message resonates as a call to spiritual resistance and resilience. His words invite us to recognize that, even though we may not always fully understand the meaning of the tragedies we endure, we can always find comfort and strength in our faith and hope. So, as we venture along the path of life, let us remember Padre Pio's legacy and the importance of embracing faith and hope as precious guides in our experiences. May his testimony of determination and optimism inspire us to persevere, to believe in the power of the divine, and to keep the light of hope burning even in the darkest moments.